Thanks for tuning into the Carrie Handle podcast. Here's your hosts, Bryce and
Kevin. Welcome back to the Carrie Handle podcast. I was coughing a touch. With me, as always, is Kevin, and I'm also Bryce. Hi, Kevin. Hello. Sorry.
Kevin.
Yep.
Hello.
I'm good. Red-faced and gonna play the Friends of the Channel. I'll figure out a less ham-fisted way of doing this. All right. Friends of the Channel. Friends of the Channel.
We want to take this time to thank Friends of the Channel, who provided us 10% discount codes for our listeners. That's you, and we don't get kickbacks. First is Hammy 3D Prints. Thousands of products for firearm storage and other fun stuff, too. Code CarryHandle10. Eastern Shore Sling Company. Handmade rifle slings and custom sewing. Dog leashes, too. Code CarryHandle. 19 Charlie Tactical. Gunsmithing, Kydex holsters, thousands of drop-ship gun parts, accessories, tools, firearms. Code TheCarryHandle10. And lastly, I want to thank myself for all the scheduling and all the shenanigans I deal with daily. Thank you, Hannah.
Yes, thank you, Hannah, indeed. Mr. Kevin, how are you? What has precipitated this gathering of our silky smooth podcasting professional voices?
The shenanigans and tomfoolery will be brought to us by Brass
Venture
the
Club.
man
Oh,
of
sorry.
facts.
Shit, sorry. We were getting our sponsors on.
He's rolling right into it, just like a professional.
How do you balance a silencer? That's easy. You go to silencershot.com with 10 easy accessories for... Sorry, every time I hang out with Luke, if his blood alcohol content goes over 0.2, he starts doing ad reads that he used to do for his I think he still does for his TFB
for the podcast, yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
The last one we did with him was a complete shit show. He edited it sounded fine when it came out, but like the studio kept refreshing. He had what it was a quintessential us problem. Actually, real quick. Hi, Brass Facts. Real quick for the two people that don't know who you are, let's get an intro.
Yeah,
who are you?
Yeah, who are you? What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
I don't really know. One day I decided I wanted to make YouTube videos because I got a little fed up with some of the YouTube videos on the online, and I didn't really have the self-control most humans do to stop at any point. So I kind of just kept going, and then one day I met these two dapper fellers at a SHOT Show, and the rest is history.
Indeed, I like that. That was very succinct. I appreciate that. Very nice. Well, so we're in other expanding upon the points that you've made. What got your start in shooting? I mean, have you always been into guns? Have you always been doing this, or was it just like what started you in the shooting of the guns?
Yeah, I mean, every single video makes the joke of like, just start the story. We need to go back to the start of time. When Adam and Eve, like, oh my, okay, like, you know, but legitimately, a lot of my start in shooting didn't directly have to do with guns because I grew up overseas in very gun-unfriendly spaces with a fairly anti-gun, I don't want to say anti-gun parents, but they weren't into it. It wasn't like a hunting family or any of that.
Yeah.
So a lot of it was just media at first. I think Black Hawk Down was unironically one of the big ones. Call of Duty, obviously. I was more of a Battlefield guy personally. Battlefield 2,
perfect
with those drop prones all the time. They look like lopping dolphins. Just
that is the cultured taste, by the way.
Yep.
Oh, I still listen to the menu music, the dun, 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 with the radio voice in the background.
That and Halo 2,
dude.
those are pretty bangers.
Yeah, my parents didn't. I have an Asian mom, so I wasn't allowed an Xbox, so I got one. I don't want to say illegally, very still legal, but I got it with like stashed away lunch money by just not eating lunch, and eventually bought one. So I finally got to play Halo 2, but I had to hide an Xbox of all things, so I could only play it when the parents weren't home. So yeah, I appreciate
Most kids are
that.
hiding weed and porno mags, and you're like, I have an Xbox.
It's Japan. You don't need to
No,
hide the porno mags. Those things are on street
Yeah.
stalls. Anyway,
Yeah, right.
so if you go back far enough, most of my interest in a long time, my interest was just media, right? So by the time I got into guns, I was like, or started buying guns, I was, I think, 21 and a half, 22 almost. So I bought a bolt gun, and then I bought, what was it, a Springfield XD? Actually, no, I bought a Walther PPX. I think it's their weird budget
okay.
thing.
Yeah.
It didn't work, so I had to give it back. Send
Is
it
that
back.
the weird like LEM style trigger?
I genuinely don't remember. I had it for one
Okay.
range trip. It didn't work.
Fair enough.
And Shields or Cabela's maybe was nice enough to just be like, hey, we'll charge you the restocking fee. You're probably just limp wristing, so we'll just put it back on the shelf.
You probably suck. It's fine.
Yeah,
you're terrible at shooting. We'll take it back. Bye.
We'll take it back.
Yeah, we
and
feel
then,
bad.
And then
It's
I bought
okay.
a Springfield XDM, I think on Nut and Fancy's recommendation.
God
and then,
bless.
And at first you go to Nut and Fancy, other gun tubers, just for some advice, and then you go down the AR-15 8 versus AK Part 5 4.5
fucking
hour movie
matinee.
marathon
Yeah.
extravaganza. Got
Yeah.
really overly serious into preparedness, and then kind of branched out from there. And then I guess at some point that put me on the trajectory to meet these 6'4" fine gentlemen at SHOT Show.
And then
Nice.
us too, right?
No, I was referring to you guys. You've seen the
Oh,
picture
yeah,
where
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
shorter than you guys, right? I'm 6'1".
That is true.
so-
Yeah.
You know,
that is
was
absolutely true.
I was surprised that you are shorter in person than you are on camera.
Don't even joke about that. Most people genuinely think I'm like 5'5".
I mean, yeah, I didn't really think about how tall you were, and I kind of forgot how massive Hop was, and then I saw you, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
It's not just
that
Hop.
tracks.
My friend that shows up to shoot with me, and then I push a camera into his hands, is also Hop sized, and he doesn't look Hop
Oh,
sized.
maybe that's what it is.
And then he also, shoots next to me, and I hand the camera off and all that stuff. So he shows
yeah,
up.
so
in the footage
everybody's
too.
about the same.
Everyone is taller than me
Wow.
for some reason, and I'm 6'1". So it's a little. It's quite frankly bullshit.
And you're a
honestly.
tall Asian man. My goodness.
Yeah. I got the good genes, I guess. That's the only good genes I got. I can't do math.
Well, I was about to ask, can you do math? But you answered that.
I
for
did
me.
get diamond in StarCraft 2, so there's that. So I do have
okay.
those genes.
All right.
Oh,
Well, you got a tism of some sort. That's good at least.
Yeah.
Well,
StarCraft.
so-
Good game.
And so I remembered kind of watching your stuff when you were. I remember the videos doing like where you set the cones out and you were doing the drills of like
Oh, those
entries
look awful.
and stuff like
Please
that. And I remember, I think you were in college at the time. Maybe?
Yeah. I was finishing
I don't
up an
remember.
engineering degree, working
Yeah.
an engineering job, and then somehow also shooting guns. I didn't know what women were, so like that was a good time, like regainer back.
That it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Fair. Totally fair.
Still
So,
don't,
did you-
but I mean, back then I didn't know either. So
Well, at least you know that you don't know. That's always good. It grounds you at the very least. Yeah, right. Reviewed negatively. But so are you doing the review stuff full time?
yes, I'm full time now. My engineering thing was an internship that transitioned into a job, but it was right after COVID, and contracts were drying up, and they were like, "Hey, we're not going to bring you on at the original terms." Stuff. And I'm like, "Yeah, frankly, I don't really like this job." I didn't fucking tell them that, right? But it's like I'm going to go job hunting, and job hunting takes, I'm sure many of the viewers are aware, job hunting takes a lot longer, even if you're decently qualified.
Yeah.
So I kind of took it slow, and I was like, let's just see, what my savings and working on this channel for about 6 months will do. I'll job hunt on the side. Let's see where it takes it. And by the time I started getting job offers, because there's like sort of a spool up period, right? You do 2 months of job things, and then eventually the job offers start coming in. I was starting to do the interviews, but the channel is beginning to do well enough where it was like, I could barely survive off of the channel, and there was upward trajectory. So there was the promise of even more past that.
That's cool.
I actually got accepted. I think was it to L3 if I remember right, or at least promise for future positions. Yeah, engineer does fucking military contract. Big surprise. Salt Lake City has a ton of mill contractors. The Salt Lake Valley area, right? It's some of up north.
Yeah.
So I got a couple of follow-up interviews, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I can swear on here, but you know.
Oh,
SSD
you can fucking swear.
Okay, yeah.
Swear
suck these
away.
nuts. I'm gonna go
all
shoot
the
guns,
things. You didn't listen to you definitely haven't listened to the Hop episode, and that's okay.
I skimmed through it. The issue with swearing is I hang out with people that like for example, I hang out with a Marine, and he swears so much like it doesn't. I don't like process it as swearing.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I worked in construction. I know of what you speak.
There's a video on our channel, on the Nova Group channel, which is our bullshit channel where we don't put any effort into it. Got a shitload of views, but it's all people that haven't really seen our content before and aren't really in the gun space, I think. And he is swearing. He's saying fuck about once every 4 words for about 20 minutes straight.
That's
and
impressive.
the comment section is just 90% just upset about that.
Is he the one that you did with Hop in the AK-104s or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the I'd say at home Mr. Beast, but like anyone would pick him over Mr. Beast for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
for
funny.
sure. Well, so in terms of doing this full time, where do you find the things to talk about? I mean, yeah, the creative inspiration. I mean, is it just, hey, that thing's kind of interesting and I feel I can allot X amount of time into this? Or is it just kind of taking you places, or people just giving you shit? Like where does it start?
Yeah. I think it helps that this was always a passion thing for me first. I did this because I had over like 10 years I've wanted to I've been immersed in the gun space. Yeah, not quite 10 years, maybe 6 years at that point. I'd been really into the gun space, watching content, having critique with a lot of content, right? Like this was the 2014s, 2016s era. So I had a lot of things that, I was interested in, I wanted to say, I wanted to try. So, that kind of built up. And then I was like, I'm going to do a channel. I literally do not care if anyone, obviously I'd love to have someone to watch my video, right? But I literally do not care. I have to make this video. I like editing to a degree. I hate it now, but I like editing to a degree. I like filming. I like, matching music to footage, which is a lot of my original videos had musical intros.
Yeah,
I like doing this.
Your drone stuff was fucking magical.
It was.
We can talk about that in a second. It's funny that it's that you saw that stuff. But I had to do this content, and it didn't matter if anyone had to was going to watch it. I just wanted to do it as a creative outlet. And I'm very into guns, and I'm very I very much overly commit myself to anything I do. We joked a bit earlier about the StarCraft 2 stuff, right? I was playing StarCraft 2. You can't half-ass things. I'm reading all the guides. I'm getting immersed. I have Excel spreadsheets. And the same thing happens with guns. Like I overly immerse myself into the space. So this is a politician, not a politician's answer, but a long answer to the question of like, how do I get ideas? And it's like, they just come to me. Like I have so many, my Excel sheet of potential ideas is thy cup runneth over. Ideas come to me faster than I can produce content on them. And in fact, I have to have sessions where I weed out stuff that are very interesting to me, but maybe less interesting to a general audience, or just may not be practical to do. Some of them are just like, bro, this is a $10,000 video idea. You don't make Grand Theft money. Cut that shit out. So, I all of this stuff is just innately interesting to me. Guns are freaking cool. Like the idea is they just keep coming. And for now, I haven't had what you might call like a writer's block in terms of, I think my content has shifted a little bit, right? I do a little less prepper concept ideas, mostly because I don't want to do too much of that stuff, because I don't want to back myself into a corner in terms of, what that kind of pushes a channel towards, but also, there's only so many avenues to talk about in that regard until you get into news. But yeah, that was a very long answer to a pretty simple
No,
question.
no. It's appreciated. The
very
longer
well-spoken
versions we
senator.
appreciate. Yes. Well, so I mean, in terms of what does it look like in terms of prepping these kinds of prep? We'll talk about cool shit in a minute, but as a general curiosity, the prep work that goes in when you have an Excel spreadsheet, you lay it out, because I mean your videos. I mean, there's B-roll. I mean, it's like a movie in terms, or it's like a TV show. I mean,
the quality is amazing.
Yeah.
It's funny because 90% of it is me pointing a camera at a second tripod, or camera on a tripod at a second tripod to get the manual focus, because I'm stubborn and I fucking hate autofocus. So I have to put a second tripod that is the older version of my first tripod, right? Because it got old and decrepit, and I focus onto the tripod, and then I try to stand roughly where the tripod is.
That's awesome.
So that's
stealing that.
90% of the project. Every once in a while, I'll accost someone to hold a camera for me. But
I can imagine someone out there helping you, like drinking a water, and someone's like, "What the hell is he doing?" Oh, he's doing the focus then. Like, goddamn fucking camera not focused.
I think I've seen you've done B-roll of that setup at least once, and I wondered what you were doing.
In the I think Made in America one, I jokingly leave the tripod in, and I kick it out of the way, and it's like, this is how I focus the camera. Yeah, I had eyes on one of them, but that one broke along.
Well, that's fair.
There's also not really room
too
for
human,
eyes on a straight vertical thing, so they were sideways. They were like,
it wasn't made in America. That's why it broke.
But anyway, to speak to like my process, I still very much view my shooting as primarily a training. There is training objectives in it, right? So I have a primary slot, which is going to contain generally speaking, a rifle of sorts and maybe a handgun. And then I have an alt slot, which I don't consider something that has any training value whatsoever, like running a belt fed, running a shotgun, running a revolver. People are going to get upset about that one, but running a revolver, doing just stupid shit or not stupid shit. Maybe like I
am a wheel gun, sir.
How
rude.
Bryce is upset now.
How dare you, sir? I'm sorry, continue.
Yeah. So I sort of have like an alt block and then a primary block, and the primary block, I'll have like a bunch of ideas. Here, let me pull it up so I can speak from specifics.
It's like a Tom Clancy loadout. You just have the X amount of guns that you keep on roster.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So for example, right now, I just sort of finished up a huge set of review blocks, so it's less fleshed out right now. But I have a new thing titled "Rifles or Some Shit," and it's high point setup. High point setup, 300 blackout superposition video idea, 300 blackout is a PDW, and PCC's the age of PCC is the rough video idea, and then the Sentinel review. And that's my main block of videos. And then on the right, I have, long range part 7. It's actually part 7256559. I just jokingly slammed it out.
Nice.
And it's MRGGS at home, which is my Valkyrie review. Cheap versus expensive bolt guns, the M1A Daisy DMR, question mark, 77 grain OTMs are cheap now, everyman position rifle / it's a bunch of working titles, and these kind of come into review blocks. The first set I mentioned gets regular training sessions, which I have a whole thing on. I'll do a couple sessions where I work on like fundamentals, like on paper targets, like eyes lead transition. I'll make sure to squeeze in a long range day or 3, and then I'll squeeze in it, when I go up into the mountains, I'll squeeze in a couple days with that setup. And the goal, because I need to be somewhat cost effective and run this as a business, is to bundle reviews. So a rifle like that high point setup might have, and I'm working on it right now, I might go buy the NX6, right? Put that on top of it, put a laser on it, and then do it all on a thing. And then the alt review needs dedicated days, because I'm not naturally going to shoot a fucking belt fed, right? Like there's actually for a while, for the Moons Out thing, that became my focus for about a month.
You should have done a belt fed there.
Yeah, I watched that video.
No, I did. That's what I did. Yeah.
You're talking about the belt fed at the Moons Out. I was like, oh.
So anyway, that's a very autistic answer, but yeah.
You're on the right podcast for that.
I sort of block it out in that way. And then I have a huge just list of just raw ideas that filter their way into the primary sort of channel. Yeah, so it's so far the list ebbs and flows. Sometimes I have too much shit. Sometimes I'm like, oh God, I'm finally running out of ideas. And then a whole bunch of stuff proliferate off of one single idea.
Yeah.
And then
well, so in terms of like
concept
applying
videos kind of
skill,
come off of that. Yeah. Sorry.
yeah.
My bad.
Okay. No, you're good.
Yeah.
So like in terms of applying skill, I mean, how are you working these things like, because obviously you run drills, you run them drill-esque, and you seem to do, I mean, skills seem to be a factor to some degree. I mean, are you concerned with like, is there a performance metric in mind? Like, are you just exploring all aspects when you go into different systems?
It's a little column A, little column B. I do know what my performance standards are on certain drills. Most of the time, you can just get a gut feel for it when you shoot enough guns. Like, I can tell this gun is gassed to the fucking tits, right? Like,
Yeah, right.
or
Yeah.
that, like, these reloads are just atrocious if I'm doing, like, bell-fed content. Or, like, bullpup content or something like that. Or, these are higher than average malfunctions. So on and so forth, right? I can get a gut feel for it, but I do have hard metrics that I've looked at, right, beyond just accuracy or something like that. Like I know my 3 shots on a 10x12 at 100 yards from the low ready with a gun that I'm very comfortable with. I can pull about 1.5, 1.6 seconds, and I'm confident that I will generally get that drill down. If the time goes up or the consistency goes down, I can kind of factor that in. It's not something I mention in videos because that's, I think, very personal to me. So I don't bring it up, but it gives me a feel for how a rifle performance stands. This is all very review based, by the way. Obviously on the channel, I do a lot of concept stuff, but for a block of guns, for example, I will very often distill a concept from it, or usually it's the other way around. I have a concept in mind and I go seek out reviews that let me double dip into the concept, right?
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I like that.
That's cool. Well, so I as a reviewer, you're testing optics, you're testing lights, you're testing all kinds of shit. So are there guns or systems that you keep like that you don't change? I mean, or
this
is
everything something me and Hop,
a previous guest on the Carry Handle podcast,
have big arguments about? I think he mostly agrees with me, but he also doesn't give a shit. I'm very strongly of the opinion that you should have setups that you don't really touch. Not like touch in terms of shoot, but touch in terms of modify.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Which that's another video idea, right? I am very much of the opinion that comfort with a setup is more important than the quality of or the effectiveness of the setup, because your comfort will actually dictate a large amount of effectiveness. And only once your comfort gets overshadowed by something being so much better does it begin to justify breaking comfort and trying something new. So a lot of my setups are actually not nearly as high quality as they potentially could be, right? Or they haven't been. I mean, I essentially get paid to do this shit now, so they're very high quality compared to what most people get access to. But my basic AR-15 is an Arrow fucking Franken build, right? And I'm comfortable with that setup. I know the exact zero. I know the exact zero on
a Nova appearance. God bless.
Yeah. Wow.
High tier.
Probably a dog.
We got 2 guests. Hey man, that is okay. We're okay with puppers.
So that's a relatively, basic build. Or when the PLXC RDB came out, I didn't put that on my main rifle for a while because I'm like, I'm zeroed. I know the dope of this one, blah, 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 blah. So I have setups that I don't really mess with. And those guns also don't get review options put on them. I do that in other things.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, that's fair.
So to me, I also like, in the same way that a lot of this stuff is just, I train with this stuff. A lot of my equipment is equipment that, I did. There's some preparedness equipment, there's some review equipment, so on and so forth, right? I'm not going to pull the optic off of my carry Glock to do a review.
Yeah. That's silly.
Yeah. Well, so in terms of, because you've been doing this for a little bit now, is there stuff you can just kind of look at and be like, that's just not gonna?
In fact, this is something once again, me and Hop talk about a lot. We have a different threshold of where we think that can occur, but we are roughly of the opinion that you can get about 90% of a review done, give or take. Who knows what the fuck the number actually is, but you can get most of a review done before you take it, like as you take it out of the box, and then the next 5 to 10% in the first range trip. And then him and I argue about how much more you need to do after that to be thorough, to vet durability, to vet so on and so forth. But a lot of reviews can be done pretty early on. I choose not to because every once in a while you're wrong. And if you're wrong, you're screwing someone over out of some pretty hard-earned cash. And there's also, you get surprised. Durability can't be tested out of the box, but certain aspects you can tell right from the rip. It's like, this makes no sense. This is stupid as hell, especially if you get something that is just an instant DQ. Like I reviewed the 1-4X Prism. Out of the box, exposed turrets, there's no locking mechanism. I can brush it with my arm and unzero the turret, right? And I have no way.
Was that the Zero Tech one?
Oh, yeah.
No, the other one.
I think I saw that video. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot what it was called already. The Sightmark one, I think.
Yeah,
I could tell the second I put that on my gun, it's like this thing is
just like free spinning.
Not a good thing. Like I already know the end of this review, and I haven't even shot a single bullet yet. Right, and that is true a lot of the time, right? Like you pull out a Leopold scope, you pull it out in a Night Force scope.
I never pull out. That's how I have a son.
Just you pull out an Arkin, you pull out a whatever. It's like, I can see the glass quality. I can see the reticle design. I can see how the turrets are made. There's not much else to it. We're just going to do our final due diligence. And the final due diligence actually costs more than 90% of the review.
Interesting. Okay. Well, so
a lot of times.
Conversely,
there's certain things that are just like, fresh territory, right? Where you are learning things the whole time.
Well, so conversely, is there something that sticks out to you? Because I know people might care about this, but like, is there something that has genuinely surprised you where you're like, this is going to be absolute dog shit and it was great, or conversely, this is going to be amazing, and then this is fucking dog shit?
Off of the top of my head, I mean, I'm doing the Sentinel holographic. Everyone got one for free, and I was the only fucking schmuck that had to pay for their own because I keep buying my own stuff. That's something we can rant about if we want to do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
The amount of stuff I have to pay for. But the Sentinel is pretty decent despite mine being partially broken. So I didn't expect that. I thought it was going to be a piece of shit. The Glock Gen 6, I wanted to hate that thing so bad, and it is kind of just the most fucking stupid, and it's like 6 steps forward, 5.5 steps back, right? Like, like what the hell, man? But I ended up liking it.
We all want to hate it, but we can't.
But yeah.
No. I am a Glock
SMS Trinity
homo.
Was something I thought would shit the bed and die horribly. Held in
I genuinely was surprised by that entire... Because it seems like a bunch of people have had the similar...
Way more abuse than most reviews get. Because we went to Moons Out, we had 2 copies, we shot over, like, at this point, 7,000 rounds through them.
Yeah.
Like, most of my lasers don't get that level of vetting. This one did because, we're so scared of making a bad decision, and also just... we have them lying around, so they keep going on loaner guns. And,
right,
yeah.
Well, I think it suffered initially because I know like a lot of budget Instagram channels had them for the longest time, and they looked kind of meme tier, kind of trash, like Alibaba grade. But they do seem impressive. I mean, at least the Chinese laser market.
It's come a long way.
Yeah, because I remember like Somo Gears being like, hey,
Oh no, they still
like
are.
They're not, they are and laser.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
but they're also as powerful as hell.
I mean, they are and laser. I think the Chinese purse are probably fine in terms of pursed quality, but like, yeah, I mean, I think those are genuinely surprising in terms of quality.
They're not a top tier laser. I still don't actually recommend them on a primary rifle. They have a notable wiring 0, not to get into the autism of it, but the way a scope holds 0 and a laser holds 0 is a fundamentally different technology.
Right.
And the Chinese companies are not afraid of copying the PEC 15 patent, which is essentially if you imagine a Y and put the 2 emitters in the top of the Y, it's a piece of plastic that pivots at the joint of the straight part of the Y. Right.
Yeah.
So that Y can jump and not be in the correct spot if it doesn't, versus a scope, which is 2 screws or 1 screw pushing an entire assembly that is pushed back from the other thing.
Okay.
So scope is going to have a much harder time jumping within its own assembly, right?
Okay.
Interesting.
So a lot of, I mean, that's actually how I broke a sight recently. The invisible sight snapped at the Y joint is what I assume it is, because I can see the emitter now moving freely in the housing.
So interesting. I like that. That's kind of funny. Well, so and then I suppose conversely, or not conversely. I already said that. Now I guess that'd be full circle then.
Welcome to most of my scripts. I say some random fucking words as filler.
You're
I know.
circling back, Bryce.
I know. God bless. Sorry, I got sidetracked on the Chinese thing, as people are well known to do.
I mean, Chinese are now primary track for okay, bad joke.
China number one.
All of
China
my Hollow Sons are listening right now. Okay, can we be nice?
China number one.
Yeah. Well, so real quick, so you've been doing, well, maybe not real quick, but to switch gears just a little bit, I've seen more and more kind of different calibers being brought up, especially on your channel. And we asked Hop about his opinion on different calibers, and he very much was like, no, I like 5.56, and yes, and he was like, as exciting as he gets is 6.5, or I'm sorry, 220 Russian 6.5 Grendel, but
he loves Grendel,
yeah. Yeah, he fucking does. So, what I mean, do you after the long range stuff? Because you went to the Leupold event.
Pold, shooting. Everyone keeps telling me, Leupold. I like saying Leopold.
Leupold.
Leopold or Leupolds?
It's Leupold. I like saying Leopold.
It is Leupold.
Because Leupold sounds dumb.
Yeah, Leopold rolls off the tongue better.
Yeah.
Leopold.
I'm closer with him on that than you might think, especially since I view this from a practical perspective. Most people just can't afford to like properly stock, properly train, properly build some level of comfort with 5.56, let alone X, Y, or Z caliber that is today's hipster bullshit, right?
Okay, so let's get away from everybody. I mean, is there a utility for somebody that can shoot a 5.56 gun and can tell?
Yeah,
objectively,
absolutely. I mean, 6 arc is a hell of a lot more energy, at range. 6.5 Creed, you'll go up to 6.5 Creedmoor. It's much easier than 5.56 to do certain things. At minimum, aim slightly high and pull the trigger gets you way farther in a variety of conditions. So, I mean, and 300 Blackout is a bit of a disaster of a cartridge, but I still love it. So.
Okay, so let's explore that, because I've heard some 300 Blackout opinions.
It's good to suppress it, though.
Yeah.
So what is that cartridge for you then? Because I know you said 300 Blackout as a PDW, and because I mean originally it was just supposed to suppress or like replace an MP5 SD.
Yeah, so I think that's still the primary purpose of 300 Blackout, is that it's a rifle-ish sized gun that is going to first be used as a subsonic platform, and should shit go tits up, you are able to switch to a supersonic platform without having two guns. You're not running, a Mark 23 and then an M4. You're not running an MP5 SD and then have a whole other M4 kit, or you're just useless should something happen, right? So it's a hybrid gun that can fill the role of something that's subsonic for pests, whatever, but it also functions as a rifle carbine at rifle carbine distances, roughly speaking. To me, that is the predominant design goal of 300 Blackout, because outside of some niches, 300 Blackout as a supersonic platform is 7.62x3.9. And most people agree 7.62x3.9 is not amazing. It's not bad. It's got some uses, right? It's better than 5.56 against thick-ass bore pelts, which are essentially 3A, right? But generally speaking, 7.62x3.9 has gone to the wayside for a number of reasons. And 300 Blackout subs, which, while still better than handgun rounds, right? There's much more spread when it impact stuff, right? You have a larger crush path. There's a little bit more energy on target, is functionally 45 ACP. So I'm not saying each one of the, supers only, subs only are useless, but they're incredibly niche, far more niche than the market, I think, views them as right now, because it's very fun to do subsonic hunting and stuff like that.
Right, right.
So when you try to push 300 Blackout into the super/subsonic category, that MP5 SD with rifle characteristics with just a mag change, it's very finicky. It's very hard to get a rifle that won't kill itself in 1,000 rounds, tuned for subs that also works for supers. It's stuff exists. I think people misunderstand. You can make it work. It's just most people should not go down that rabbit hole, because that capability is already something that you probably don't necessarily need. And that's going to be a lot of tinkering. It's very expensive. The rounds have gone up in price. The duty rounds, especially the good performers, are really expensive. Blah, 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 blah. So I like 300 Blackout. I'm just trying to warn
This is a Black Hills house, sir.
Yeah. I'm trying to warn the prospective viewer of just be ready for the amount of just suffering you have to go through to properly get your setup working.
Yeah. Okay.
I will make fun of you if you hunt with subs with large game, though.
That's fair. I know my buddy hunts hogs with an FRT and 300 Blackout.
Okay,
except
so
it's all
at that
supers.
point, all bets are off. Like, the guy's just fucking around. That's on the same tier as the dude shooting hogs with miniguns, right? You're not doing pest control. You're fucking around. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, he's having fun.
Yeah, as an
he's
American,
like,
you
it
have
makes
that
me
right.
laugh. I'm like, God bless.
Hunting hogs with a minigun, that's like
Kevin, that's our gaming buddy, by the way. The most wholesome man to ever hunt with an FRT.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I would love to go rip and tear with a TP9 with an FRT 9mm. Like, that is unethical.
Yeah.
Be cool as shit. I'd feel like shit afterwards, but whatever.
Was the TP9 your first SBR?
Yeah, I was gonna say, speaking of TP9.
Yeah, we want to talk about TP9.
And
then I want to talk about the dot.
I think my second SBR. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so was that a purchase on Vibes? Also, hi Nova.
You can hear her completely spurging out. She's doing
the most absolute classy lady. She is absolutely welcome.
She has opinions, and we're here to listen.
Many lovely doggo opinions.
She's scratching
much
her
like
back on the
Hops.
floor.
Much like Hops cat.
Hey,
I mean,
man,
everybody.
we all have to scratch our necks on the
Sacco,
floor
Nova
at
House.
some time.
Yeah, we're fans. It's okay. You can stay. I mean, but as long as she's here.
She's here. She's vetting everything I say. Yeah.
Oh, but of course, yes. Quality assurance.
TP9 was no. I actually bought the TP9. I sold my friend on the concept of the TP9 well before I bought it, because I didn't really have the money for it, and he did. Because I very much believed in the concept of PDWs way back then. Before I started the channel, I just couldn't afford the concept.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, this is a really cool idea. I think this makes sense. Let me tell you about it while we drink, rum and Dr. Pepper in your basement.
God bless.
And he was sold on the idea, and I sold it to him.
Did you have a bunch of problems with that TP9 that you kept?
I had problems. He didn't. I had problems. Yeah.
Yeah, and that you keep sending it back and getting it back and sending it back and getting it back.
Well, now you can't do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, maybe it's because of you, Brass. Maybe they've just said,
you're the one that,
you know what? Fuck
bankrupted
America.
them.
Yeah,
you did it.
Single-handedly bankrupted.
We're not taking any more TP9s back.
They're actually local to me. They're out of Tampa.
Well, they're unlocaling to you, right? Technically,
yes,
they're unlocaling to the whole U.S., but they're now by me.
It's crazy. They just fucking they had a bunch of or maybe not a bunch, but they have job openings and stuff. And then I double checked today, and I was like, yep, nothing. Interesting.
You showed up
why.
there and got a couple pens and stuff, Bryce.
I know. I missed the boat. We went to the booth. We got to play with some of those. It was fun. It was cool. It was a cool booth.
You see the massive work order pile from Brass. This is like a massive fucking pile.
It's like the same fucking TP9 keeps coming back. So in terms of the PDW,
in their defense, they're pretty cool about it. They're like,
that's good.
Yeah, they were very, very cool about it. Obviously, they're disappointing to see their product fucking shit fart.
Yeah,
and die.
No, I get that. I get that. But so in terms of a system, because Kevin and I have talked about like the civilian. I know.
Well,
Lucas maybe has.
Someone actually, I just thought about this. Sorry. Somebody at work was asking me about the Flux Raider as a PDW truck gun, and they're asking my opinion on it. And I was like, well, as long as you have like a secondary pistol, you're not putting your pistol into the Raider. Like, you gotta have 2 pistols. Like you can't. And they're kind of like, huh? I was like,
Yeah, it's not a clamshell.
Yeah, but I wouldn't.
Just dropping it in.
Yeah, I wouldn't clamshell.
Yeah, you don't. No, the Flux Raider is a platform. You should not be hot swapping into it. I think that's something people give the RXM a lot of shit for. It's like, why do I need a swappable fire control unit? I'm not hot swap. No one's hot swapping it. The goal is from the onsets to buy it for the thing. So the Flux Raider is not a $500 platform. It's a whatever the fire control unit plus the chassis plus the
Yeah. That's a good way of looking at that, because that was something I always looked at the price tag of that and I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah, when they came out, they were selling.
And it's a 320. Why would you do this?
Well, they were selling that whole concept, like, oh, get this, and then and we're like, no, I think we actually have a video on it or a recording on it. We were like,
yeah, we talked.
It's so dumb.
I am not a Flux Raider guy.
Oh, the Flux Raider is awful.
Yeah,
but it's also somehow still the best PDW.
And that hurts.
A really bad state of the PDW
That hurts
market.
my soul.
Is it B&T that had the Glock lower?
The Glock US. So they have the USW series, which is sort of a chassis-ish set. I mean, it's more of a lower, Glock 320, and then there's a dedicated weapon called the USW A1, I believe, which is actually where the Acro originally came from. The Acro
I didn't know that.
was a thing before. The Acro was I forgot what the optic was, but it was for the USW A1, and they eventually morphed it into the Acro P1.
Interesting. You know what's a really cool PDW that's been around for a long time?
Uzi.
That's a good choice too.
I don't know
MP5.
About
that, MP5.
Well, you got to remember. Okay, so this is my gripe. The MP5 is a lot heavier and bigger than most people give it credit for.
MP5K.
No, there's an MP5K PDW.
Yeah,
it's
so
not
don't
an
get me wrong. I have an
MP5.
APC 9K. It is cool. It's very cool, but it is larger and heavier than a Flux by a pretty significant margin.
Yeah, they are fundamentally different.
Yeah, it's a small PCC / PDW, but it is not a concealable, packable PDW to the same degree, right? It's on a sliding scale, right? If you don't need that degree of smallness, then an MP5K is going to beat the snot out of a Flux Raider, or any of those style of guns is going to beat the Flux Raider. But the scenarios where I can bring a Flux Raider is not the same scenarios I can bring an MP5K. Right. And the scenarios where I want to bring an MP5K begin to also merge into scenarios where I want to bring just a whole ass rifle.
Yeah.
Right? So that's something to consider.
Yeah.
See,
it's all very personal.
The P320 Flux Raider, I actually thought the 365 version of that was more compelling than the full size. Now, I
100% agree with you. I 100% agree with you.
Yeah. Just, I mean, in terms of overall footprint, I mean, I know they have
smaller,
the meme
it actually fits in a holster.
Yeah. If the goal is to have it as small and compact
the 365
as possible,
is absolutely way better.
That is the only time I would own one.
It sucks to shoot. It sucks. Fucking donkey dicks to shoot.
No, yeah, I mean, but it's
of course it does.
It's like small concealable handguns. It's like it's not going to be as good as the full size, but it does a lot of other things that you can't do with those bigger ones.
How much I've shot my P365? Very little, because it sucks.
You should probably shoot it more though, right? Because it's
don't shoot it too much. The trigger reset spring on 365.
I already know.
I guilted him into very recently replacing that.
Guilt me. I knew about it.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Didn't.
I bothered you endlessly. I have receipts of botherings.
I don't believe this. But I did replace the springs on it. I did replace I got Armory Craft springs. And then I beefed all the springs.
There's a whole cottage industry of people that are trying to fix retroactively SIGs. It's amazing. God bless them.
I know a lot about the SIG FCU now. A lot more.
He knows they like exploding because like there's a lot of shit in there.
I also cut my finger replacing the manual safety and I had blood on top of it.
That's how Kevin knows he likes a gun, if he's bled on it or not.
Yeah, like I bled on my original AK. My shit Riley that some asshole talked me into.
Yeah, I've
some
done
asshole
Yeah, me.
You don't
yes,
bleed on your AK when you replace the trigger. You didn't do it right, or you were too sober.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also. Oh, I did when I was replacing the trigger on my AK. Remember, I'd sliced that fucking thumb right open right before we went to the range.
Yep.
And it hurt a lot.
I remember the.
Was that the Suppress Fest? It was.
I think so. Yeah.
It was, and the whole week it burned like a thumb STD.
I remember I had the pest control guy come over like randomly. So you have to picture this: an AK-47 broken completely apart, like down to the bare bones. Me in my underwear, my fan's on full blast. I'm sweating. I have grease and blood everywhere. And the guy knocks on the door. I throw a towel over top of the AK. I open the door. I'm like, "Good day, sir." He's like, "I'm here to spray for pests." I'm like, "Very good, sir."
Sprays you right in the face.
He sprays for some pests. He's like, "Good day." I'm like, "Good day."
Perfect.
Go right back to putting the AK together.
God bless. I love it. Actually, on that note, how have you been enjoying your, what is it, 104? Is it GF5? I don't remember what you have.
Yeah, GF3 104. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, how's that?
I mean, I like running AKs. AKs are fun. They're not as effective, in my opinion, or efficient as an AR
I said
platform,
fun, sir.
But
fun.
whatever.
It's fine.
I'm having more fun. It's fun to slap targets with a little bit more authority. It's mostly been okay. It's not something I could ever seriously use because AKs are already kind of a disaster manual of arms, and then for lefties, it's like we have to pretend the safety doesn't exist half the time unless you want to do some
Right.
Right. But no, it's still a cool platform. I keep saying it's like we make fun of the AK, but it's the second most supported rifle in America. So
yeah,
it's still effective. It's a rifle at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
I've been playing around with. Yeah, I've been playing around with getting one of the 5.56 cranks, and I know they may not work, but I don't really
PSA
care.
Ones,
Kind of
they
just
explode in your face. Yeah.
yeah, it's fine. Most of them end up as like fidget toys for me, and I don't want to buy
You're
like
not
a
gonna shoot it
Bulgarian
anyway,
one.
That's every gun. Guns are fidget toys. People don't appreciate guns being fidget toys.
This
Honestly,
is why I have a
guns as a fidget
G36.
toys is a great way to
still
build
have
some
that
amount
EOTech
of
on there.
competency.
This sound, that sound, the G36 charging handle is like half the reason I own this. This is my favorite SBR.
You can't find the clip, but you can definitely find the dongle on a G36, right?
Yeah, baby. You know how it is. I still need to get the clear bags for it because the PMags just ain't it. I don't like the PMags for that thing.
Yeah.
The only PMags I do not like.
I want to get the I want to get the C. I think the C was cool as hell.
Yeah, those are fun. I really like the C's. We toured S5. Actually, I mean, he's not local to you, but he's not that far. Not that
He's in
close to you. He's in Mesa,
Arizona.
Yeah. But actually, I don't know where that is relative. But I mean, we got to shoot a bunch of the he makes UMPs and G36s, and they are just a fucking hoot and a half. Those are fun. I think a G36C and 300 Blackout would be fun, but I also think then you'd need an adjustable gas block because I don't think it would be that fun otherwise.
Yeah, but it's a G36, so you're just going to shoot subs or supers and just leave it at that. Just
pretty much
for one or the other.
Well, I never saw a lot of validity because I know people try to put a lot of justification in certain guns, and I have more than one gun, so I'm not really trying to get one thing to do everything. It's like if I want a 300 Blackout, I want it to shoot subs, and I want to keep it suppressed. Like I'm not worried about it doing. Oh well, I might need to swap this and have two have two reticles, and I don't have that kind of energy, and I'm not gonna lie to myself. I used to. Kevin used to make fun of me because I almost bought a 300 Blackout crank, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna suppress it and shoot it all this." He's like, "No, you're not. You are not gonna do that." I'm like, "You are correct.
Yeah,
this is true.
Crank's a toy.
Yeah, it's a toy, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it just being kind of a fun thing. I'm gonna SBR it because that's a terrible idea. I SBR'd my 104.
300 Blackout.
No. I was
okay.
going
Sorry,
to buy
I thought
one.
that's where you were going with that. I'm like, what
no,
the fuck abomination is that?
He talks theoretical
Hey,
concepts.
I like. Okay, listen. Fuck you. I like the gas block because it kind of reminds me of the 9x39 AKs that the abbreviated gas blocks they had. It's not the Vitraz or the VSS, but it was like a precursor or is a variant of that family, and it had the same gas block design. So technologically, I like that. So if I had one, I'd put it on a wall with the handguard off just to have it because I think it'd be cool. And then I would never shoot it because it seems like maybe I wouldn't want to.
You know what I
But-
want is on the same vein. I want to get a belt fed, just because.
I don't get belt feds.
I don't think you do.
I don't want a belt fed. I've never wanted a belt
but
fed.
wait,
I think
but
they're
wait.
stupid.
But wait, Bress, why would I not want a belt fed with an FRT in it?
Do you enjoy your
Do
life?
you have the money to fucking fund either one of those things, including the ammo?
How does a full expense trip to the Bahamas sound to you? Well, you can't have
Not
that
good.
if you put
I'd
that
rather
money
have the
into a
belt
belt fed.
I'd rather have the belt fed, honestly.
But
I don't want that either.
But the $1,000 gun that was so awesome in your video, I loved it so much.
I don't get this. Like all my TP9 videos, I'm just shit talking the thing the whole video, and people are like, "Wow, thanks for selling me on a TP9." I'm like, that is the wrong.
Did
lesson.
you watch the video?
You watched the video, yeah.
Now, how that
Well,
belt
the
fed
Lima
perform,
6s
though?
are somewhat promising. Not that $2,000 is cheap either, but it's a lot
No.
cheaper than $6,000.
Is that the Turkish one, or is that what is
No,
that?
the Turkish one is the MCR import, sort of.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The Lima 6 is sort of a AR-15 upper that has been modified and stretched. At that point, it's not an AR-15. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's DI, right? But outside of that, and it takes AR barrels. But, yeah.
How was
Is it quick change?
Schlumping
The
on
Lima
the
6
ammo
is not
around,
quick
too.
change. The MCR and the other one.
Why? What? Wait.
Well,
Okay. All right. Fine.
So it's worth noting that this might be surprising to you. Quick change is quickly depreciating as a thing even the military cares about. So
No, I know, but in terms of a belt fed, of the things that should have a quick change barrel, I feel like something with a high rate of
belt
fire
fed,
where you're
yeah.
concerned about feeding it, like if you're properly using it as a suppression weapon, like and
yeah,
you're
it
not
depends. I mean,
worried
there's
about funding the
especially
ammo.
for civilians, but even in military circles, belt feds aren't always a support by fire weapon. Sometimes they're just a small unit weapon. And
Right.
the amount of times, anecdotally, from what I understand, that barrels actually get swapped is increasingly low. A lot of the newer versions of the 249 SAW don't let you swap the barrel, right? So
Yep,
it's
I did
something
know that.
it's something that is kind of being moved away from. Like the tendency to need to hot change your barrel that's not even going to fully hold zero is less of a thing than.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Well, so now in terms
These are
of
beefy
the
barrels,
one
by the way.
thing,
Like these are not AR-15 standard barrels. These are
Yeah,
beefy
they're
fuckers.
beef. Yeah, they are.
yeah. I mean, I think I see more validity in like with the red right hand or whatever the thermal,
Like
like
an
the
IAR,
beefed up.
right?
Yeah, like an automatic rifle. I think those make a lot more sense in my mind. I still think they're kind of goofy, but I mean, of any of the concepts, I think all of your buddies have PMags, all of your buddies have ARs. Like that, in my mind, makes us maybe a little bit more sense. But even then, Kevin really likes I think it's stupid.
Yeah, I have a whole video where I go down the escalation of FRT, essentially. The baseline is a rifle. You put an FRT on it. That's already, like, how often are you really going to use an FRT if you were to ever use this? Almost zero. And then you can scale up from there. You increase your ammo carrying capacity. You increase your gun's capacity to handle more. And eventually you go through all the things and end up at a belt fed. And the pie shrinks drastically as you move up the chart of things. There's a reason why semi-auto and stuff like that has reigned supreme in military circles. These are things for very specific, very trust fundy people to go down the route to get an increasingly niche capability. Most of it's just having a good time.
Listen, when Micah Mayfield does I put FRT in all the things, that's fun to watch on YouTube. But then when he puts up the price amount or like the account, like if you start adding up all the trigger presses, you're like, Oh no. 8.6 Blackout was really cool until he ran that. It was like $50 a magazine or something upsetting. It's like, oh wow, that's gross. Fucking disgusting.
Yeah, so from a practical standpoint, I guess belt feds aren't really.
They're stupid. I think they're dumb.
Yeah, it depends what you want to do.
I like them.
Right. My counterpoint to this is most civilian preparedness is solved by a handgun, and then a rifle with a red dot and a flashlight will solve the other 99% of it. As soon as you put magnification on your rifle, I think you are entering in a whole nother ballgame.
Mm-hmm.
Because the likelihood of you being allowed to use a rifle with magnification is a whole other paradigm.
Right.
Yeah,
my man says whole nother and whole other in the same sentence.
It's like you're reading my thoughts. Get out of my head. These are my thoughts.
Well, see, I think there's a lot more validity in a squad support role if you are intimately ingrained with a bunch of other dudes training and there's some level of support and understanding. But if it's just you in your basement fiddle fucking around with an FRT and a gun and you go to the range sometimes and you're like, I'm a prepared citizen and I got this thing. It's like, bro, you can take one of those things if you ever end up using it. I don't know. I have a really strong bias against those. So military things. The spear. How you liking that?
I mean, I don't own one. I had to borrow Luke's, so I have a whole video on it where I'm just not.
I know he's been playing with it.
I'm not a fan on the whole stack really. The round.
Are you just not a battle rifle guy, or is it specifically
I'm also not
that
a battle
thing?
rifle guy. To be fair, I like the round in concept in a smaller. I hate using the word niche too much, but a niche role, like a battle rifle role.
I mean, it's applicable.
I really don't like the 6.8 spear itself, the weapon.
Yeah. Now, okay, so the caliber specifically, do you care about bimetal, like the high pressure, 125,000 PSI? We don't have to actually talk about that, but the crazy pressure for like ammo. I mean, battle rifle, like separating the two really quickly. Is it the concept of the round specifically, or is it just that it's less bullets and it's more like what specifically about that round are you not jazzed about?
Yeah, I have no problem with battle rifles for specific roles, and 6.8 is the 6.8 or high pressure rounds is the continuation of just not just battle rifles but small arms in general. So 6.8 is absolutely a battle rifle round,
right?
So I have no problem in that regard. I have no problem with the direction high pressure is taking the industry. It needs a lot more effort than just plug and play with current platforms than a lot of people think. I think the MCX 6.8 needs a lot more work before it is even an acceptable battle rifle. And then on top of that, I have problems with trying to make a battle rifle the America's infantry rifle.
Yeah. I mean, we did that with the M14. I know that everybody says that. We pushed M14. Now that was more like a 30 cal needs to be wood and steel kind of thing. But I mean, we figured out that light calibers and high volumes of fire was advantageous.
Wasn't the M1 chamber for a different caliber and then they changed it to 30-06?
Yeah. Well, the Garand?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. Maybe. I know they were playing around with like a 2. I know the FAL was in a more mild caliber before they tried to push that into like 308.
Yeah.
Because that's why it was full auto. They were like, yeah, and then we'll make it still full auto. And it's like, no, why would you do this?
I could be wrong, but I think I saw one of those like, did you know shorts? Or like they had a different, I can't remember the caliber off on the top of my head. And then General MacArthur's like, just make it 30-06 because we have 1 billion rounds of it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't doubt that because we were 30 cal files for like a long time. Which I mean, hey, I like 30. I have an MWS in 30 cal that and 7.62 that I very much like. but I also am not a big battle rifle guy. Now, to coin our boy and make another appearance here for Nut and Fancy, I do, and Kevin and I have talked about this, checkpoint guns. I think they're kind of nice. If I don't have to schlep around...
Hey,
if I don't have to
is a much better checkpoint gun than a 308, by the way. Are we going back on...
Thank you, Brass. Thank you, Brass, for validation of that.
Volume of fire in terms of vehicle defeat, Triumph's Big Bullet. You're not getting through an engine block.
I watched... Oh, fuck off. I was about to say Future Weapons and 50 Beowulf.
What's this book? The Baldy McBaldystein Mac, whatever...
Yeah. R.I.P. R.I.P. Show some respect here.
You have to whisper though, you know.
Yeah. Everything very quiet. Hey, I was sold on the Reaper, the LWRC Reaper from that one like intro video where he had like the backpack and he was like, so nobody knows you're the sniper, and like going into the building, and he was like, I'm a precision guy, which I thought was funny. Because then Verwapen blog actually did a thing about how the LWRC Reapers are actually, because they were piston guns. And the barrel whip would contact the rail. It was just as a weird aside, but for all the cultured boys that know who that is.
I was sold on the HK416 because it fired upside down.
That's the only reason we need an FRT and a 416 is so we can recreate that. Shave our heads to the terror of my wife and my mom. But so... Specifically with the spear, you don't have to rehash like everything you've said previously, but like cliff notes, like why do you think, the gun itself, other than the weird stock choice, but it's heavy, it's piston, it has 2 charging handles. What about it is not attractive to you from an end user?
Yeah, it doesn't take, the rail doesn't hold 0. That's important for night vision. That's important for thermal, both things that are becoming a thing going into the future. The optics system that's going with it is a very odd design that's inherent to the
Vortex
it's not fixable.
Thing.
Yeah. With the laser being built in and
the
being
mod tech, or the hell it's called,
and it's got a laser rangefinder built in that's going to. I guess that's not inherently the weapon, so I guess we can skip by that. The handguard design is horrific. It's being held in by 2 RMR screws. So if those at all get loose or strip, which they do regularly, happens all the time, the whole thing kind of just goes to shit. I think it's the harmonics get fucked or something gets fucked, and the gun turns into a 10 MOA disaster.
The LT does that too, right?
Yeah, it's the same.
Because that's where Arasaka
design.
has those, like, the crossbolt for the.
But at the end of the day, it's still 2 RMR size screws holding the whole thing together.
Right.
Dream.
Have you played with any of like the rattlers or anything like that? Are those any different, or is it literally the same
not
thing?
Really. There's some slight changes, but yeah.
Interesting. So, and then in terms of the battle rifle, like, is now that separating those again, is there any, like, if you're not worried about, because I know Hop was talking about it when he was talking about like the PTR stuff, because he was talking about putting night vision and a bunch of other stuff, and not everybody is, and I wasn't going to say maybe not a lot of people, because that's not true, but not as many people are night vision focused. But if I'm not concerned about keeping, not specifically on the gun that won't hold 0, but like on a battle rifle, like on a properly built gun, like an FAL, a G3, or something that I'm not worried about shooting at night. Is there any validity in like the battle rifle concept in your mind without thinking about nighttime stuff and weight?
Yeah, I would. It's a weird conversation because you're talking about, unless we're just having fun, which then all bets are off. But you're talking about, I want to use, like, I'm assuming here at least, I want to use a battle rifle in a serious role. I don't want to use night vision, right? So that's, to me, a bit of a juxtaposition, given that the battle rifle is a egregiously expensive platform to run. So I'm already going to go into this somewhat questioning your logic. That being said, no, you don't necessarily need to have a night vision setup. There are some benefits to running a battle rifle, especially in certain parts of the world, especially if you run something like 6.5 Creedmoor. Like, you go to the Midwest, and it's just fucking fields between houses of 2, 3,
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 10, 50 miles. And the ability to overmatch a 5.56 platform is valuable in and of itself.
Yeah.
If you just stay in a day environment and you have no desire to engage at night, you just use your night vision for movement, then there is a there, so to speak. I would at minimum want some passive capability on there in the event that I would use the platform. Blah 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 blah. The issue I would say though is a battle rifle is typically distinct from a sapper or a sniper's type system in that you don't run that much magnification because the goal is still that is a 200, 300 and in weapon, which is still relevant for what I just described. But yeah, I mean, there is a reason why they exist. There is a reason why they were used quite heavily in Afghanistan. I think battle rifles do absolutely have a place, and they don't necessarily need night vision, right? The number one benefit of night vision is movement, not engagement.
Well, I guess that's more what I was considering was they have
G3
legs.
might be a problem given how inaccurate it is, but whatever.
That was people like G3s and that shoot 308. So 308
Yeah, a
battle
lot
rifle,
of that is people just want to shoot G3s and they need an excuse. Yeah.
Which, by the way, you don't need one. They're sick.
Yeah,
like, I want to
gun.
I want the 51.
Don't also try to come up with a post hoc real justification to.
No. I want a 51P, and that is it. I just want a short barreled flamethrower. That sounds fun to me.
Yeah,
I don't like my fillings
anymore. That's a 300 blackout with extra fireballs.
Yeah, I know. I've seen the hot videos. Okay.
Oh yeah, he's trying to get
that's
that
old
in
school.
the run.
Hot,
yeah. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think so. We've talked to was an American Animal. They were talking about a lot of what, or Joe was talking about. He sees a lot of, or he seems to feel that like the 6-ARC and those calibers can supplant like an SR-25, maybe not battle rifle necessarily, but from what I understand, the 6-ARC stuff is being used more direct action than I was expecting. But
yeah. I mean, there's two angles from what I understand with that. You still maintain a small frame AR-15 style weapon, and it behaves somewhat analogously to 300 blackout in terms of how the gun handles up close in terms of recoil.
Right.
So it lets you have that. It's not as good as 5.56 up close, and I would argue it's honestly not as good as the 5.56 out to about 200 yards, because a 5.56 gun you can clamp down and just rip out 10 shots and the reticle doesn't move.
No. Yeah, so what you're saying in terms is controllability up close.
Yeah. It's not terrible. Like, no one's going to have trouble running one like 300 black. It's just not quite as good. You're not going to probably have ammo compatibility, maybe.
Right.
But as you stretch out the distance, it becomes quite apparent how much easier it is to shoot something like 6-ARC, 308, 6.5 Creedmoor, blah, 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 blah,
yeah.
blah, blah, blah. In a sort of SOCOM role, from what I understand, it's nice because the round can keep up with the 6.5 Creedmoor boys, or you just run the unit with 6-ARC, and you can still have a short platform that works in a variety of roles. 5.56 has issues as you go out to range, as the velocity drops off and you got no grainage left over.
Yeah,
it's an interesting platform. There's a reason why there's a lot of push towards it. From the civilian side, I'd say it's maybe it's an expensive platform that we don't have the same support that they do. So I would caution against going down that rabbit hole unless you got the funds or the autism to kind of explore it.
Right.
Bryce has autism.
I like, yeah, I have a touch. So I know there are magazine companies that can get them to work in small frame ARs. I can't fucking talk. But in terms of like the iCar and some of those receiver sets where they're beefier to accommodate for the wider round or the wider stack. I mean, and then obviously the beefed up lugs and the different the bolt extensions, little bit bigger bolts, so you can accommodate some of the higher pressure rounds. Now, I'm not intimately acquainted with the like ballistics or the internal pressures of some of the more bolt gun rated chambers, because I know it seems to be there's some contention for some of the validity behind those numbers or whatever that is. But it seems interesting that you're getting it seems like, well, the benefit was that it was in a small frame gas small frame gasser like AR-15 size. But then when you start going to dedicated receiver sets, it's like, well, now you're making a new gun. So what does that do? I mean, now, granted, weight. It obviously does not weigh.
That's absolutely an argument for civilians, right? Like we do care about that because we do care about the ecosystem. We do care about plug and play.
Yep.
We do care about costs. From a military standpoint, they don't give a shit, right?
No.
For mass deployment, yeah, maybe they give a shit. For like a,
yeah, but SOCOM doesn't. They're just go acquire whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, and I mean, even there is
or
some relevance to that.
But DevGru can acquire whatever.
Yeah, I mean, SOCOM too. Yeah, they're absolutely pushing out small unit contracts. But
feels like apples to oranges.
It is worth
almost.
noting that 6-ARC fundamentally, even from a civilian perspective, the logistics in getting a honest to God proper setup is the same cost, the same logistics, the same burden to just getting a whole ass new rifle. I don't really buy into that you're swapping uppers onto a lower, right? If you can afford a $150 a round or whatever it ends up being, you're probably not hot swapping a lower, especially in the modern age where we do understand that different buffers and different buffer springs are probably relevant to the effectiveness of your gun, especially with 6-ARC, which is somewhat sensitive.
Well, the same guy that says that shit buys a 320 and is like, well, it's 5 different guns. It's like, shut up. No. Just buy another fucking gun. I don't like this. I don't like the chassis thing I like that I can switch things and experiment, but I hate that it's sold as, well, you can have 5 different guns in this, unless you live in a state where
you don't like the fire control
the serial number
ideas.
I hate how it's sold, where it's like, well, you can change this or you can swap this upper, and it's
I like my RXM.
I don't do that. I buy another gun.
In a perfect world, we wouldn't need fire control units. But we don't live in a perfect world, right?
I do. So let me add a caveat there. I like the RXM because I can experiment with a subcompact. Okay, I don't have an RXM. I like the idea of an RXM.
I have one.
Yes, he does. I like the idea of an RXM because it's Magpul, and I like Magpul polymer stuff, and I like the idea of experimenting. Now, I don't know how much they work. I don't have any direct experience with that. Kevin likes his.
It feels like a nice Warning Glock trigger. This is the best way I can describe it.
That's fair. I don't like that they're not Glock triggers. That kind of bums me out because I like Apex, but whatever. But I mean, I like it from my autistic tinkering, like brain. But past that, I don't really get a lot.
I ripped the rigger slide off, so I have like a cobble potted slide on top. But I mean, I shot it today, and it was just as fun as the first time I shot it.
It do the shooty shoot.
And then the shooty shoot.
You had one as well, yeah?
An RXM or
RXM? Yeah, I'm sorry.
RXM.
Yeah, I got one.
Did you like it or no?
I think it's a great gun, especially when you consider the price tag. Right now, the fire control unit isn't doing much because there's not much out for yet. The grips are finally coming out. I wish they did a holistic launch. That would have been cool.
That is a Flux Raider would fuck.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Flux Raider thing. My trigger sucks ass, but whatever.
Is PSA doing? Is it just a copy of the RXM, or is that just a copy of the 320? I don't remember. They promise a lot of things. I don't know. I don't know what to keep track of from them.
Yeah, they're looking forward to it. I mean, that's what I was talking about with a perfect world. A perfect world is that we don't have chassis bullshit, because chassis bullshit is really stupid. I want a real company, to make me a real gun that was designed from the ground up to be a PDW.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the real companies don't seem to be that interested in doing that. So
ATEX stamps are free now. I think more people are going to be willing. Well, to put a stock on it. I mean,
sure,
most people are worried about like
the bigger issue is like just no one cares that much about something like that. So the only ones willing to do it are just not going to be able to sell whole ass ground up designed firearms, right? Flux barely made it through the door and avoided bankruptcy from what it seems like, with how much trouble they got, or how much trouble it was to release the first generations of 320. Right? Or 320 Flux Raider. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, they were selling like 0 of these a year for a very long time.
Yeah.
Well,
Right?
they were
It is
mean.
actually
I
a
mean,
lot of work to make a gun.
They're really ugly too, so that doesn't help. Like, they are horrendous. Like, in terms of marketing, it just looks like they just like added a bunch of shit in Photoshop, and they were like, all right, and then, oh shit, we have to put a red dot on this.
Yeah.
Okay, people don't want it to reciprocate, so we need to put this thing on here. And then that's why I like the P365 version. It looks, I know we're right back to the Flux Raider, but
it's a VZ50, a modern VZ58 in a lot of ways.
Yes.
Or not 58.
That is a great
61.
Yeah.
61.
Yes, there you go. The one that bit Kevin.
What?
The Scorpion.
The one that punched my thumb at Suppress Fest.
He played it off like a fucking champ.
Yeah, you know what else I did at Suppress Fest Brass? I burned my hand touching the spicy
he
pickle.
he left skin on a suppressor. It was very wholesome.
It's a rite of passage, so.
Yeah, it is. Well, it is, absolutely.
What's funnier is Bryce had no idea. He kept asking me why I didn't watch shoot other guns. And he's like, you don't watch shooting?
Well, because I felt bad. I'm doing all the shooting, and he's like, no, I don't want to do it. I'm like,
after we walked away from the booth, I'm like, this is why I have like a 2nd-degree burn on my hand. I'm like, that's why I don't want to fucking
Can you smell the bacon? The Kevin Bacon. Oh, Kevin Bacon, and it should be your hand sizzling. That'd be fun.
Well, I'm probably like 7 steps away from Kevin Bacon anyway.
Incredible. All right, so the last thing I want to ask about is it was more of like a SHOT Show, because I had never played with one. I had gotten like the partner emails from them, but the DOT, the holographic site. I know you've had one. I know you've had one on and off. I don't know if you still have it. What is your opinion on the holographic DOT? Just because I want to know.
Yeah, I did a whole review cycle on one, so it's fine. It's got a couple of issues, in my opinion, that need a little work. The refresh rate, if I recall correctly, I wish they had the sort of half MOA center dot that the EOTechs have, which is really nice behind a magnifier. My God, is it fucking hideous? What else was there?
Yeah.
The price tag
that
doesn't make
rate
sense
is
when you can buy an
bad.
EOTech for that price, right? Trying to compete with EOTech on price. I'm going to buy an EOTech, right? Other than that, yeah, I don't know. A Gen 2 would be pretty cool.
Yeah. We played with one in their booth, and the refresher, like I've played around with like the Vortex, the Hueys or the UH, whatever the hell. And and I have an LCO on one of my guns, and it's not great. Don't get me wrong.
Not great
but
is an understatement, but yes, go on.
No. Hey,
Not
this
great.
thing at least isn't horrendously ugly at the very least. Right. And the glass is at least nice to look at when you're not moving at all.
Yeah, I mean, the glass looks really good because there's no reticle, because the thing ran out of battery about 4 weeks ago.
It's true. 10 minutes ago, yeah. But it has that blue. So I've already strayed here, but the fucking refresh on that was jarring. I mean, I was just playing with it in the booth, and it's also so fucking tall. Like that is like GBRS tall. Maybe not that tall.
It's a 226. It's what everyone's doing. It's a 226 height.
I don't like those tall. Maybe I just don't like tall optics.
Well,
not a fan.
I let you like 1.93.
Not really. I like a Yankee Hill, like the half little baby riser. I'm old. I like the little baby riser, and then like slightly above. I like slightly above lower 1/3 because I'm a man of class. My G36 is of a upsetting optic height, but I have completely lost the plot here. But yeah,
I have as thought of a question. So
you should ask that question.
I should ask that question.
The host of the show.
Only we were in a format where you, as a host,
you literally are in charge. Yeah.
Well,
too bad we're not. So
it's more so for Bryce's benefit than anyone else's.
Yeah, I'll just keep talking.
He does. Like when you go out to these shoots, you camp out there, right? Do you camp in your van, or do you like cold camp? Or
what do you mean the shoots? When I go shooting normally, or just
when you're like preparing for a video, or yes?
Most of my shooting, I drive out, shoot, come back. I still have a day.
What do you do ones where you go out there in cold camp just
Oh, yeah,
to
all the time.
just
Yeah,
to
we
do
do
it?
tent camping. Sometimes we'll camp on the ridgeline. Sometimes we'll hike out. Obviously, if we're doing a real ruck, like there's only so much equipment that can come with us. Like I'll bring a full load out sometimes. Nova is
That's fair.
very decrepit in terms of her ability to go more than a mile, right? So we do those less.
She's a lady of class.
Yes. She wants to be. But we'll do a lot of camps, tent, van, spooning,
Nice.
you know.
That's cool. No, of course.
What's
Nice.
what's the best MRE?
Ooh. Okay. So honestly, I'm okay with most MREs. It's more about avoiding the bad MREs, right?
That's fair.
I don't know, man. The peach cobbler just hits for some reason. That's not an entree, that's a dessert, but the ones that come with the
It
peach
does hit.
cobbler, actually those are a delight.
Slaps.
Also the
Okay.
the Zapple. I fuck with the Zapple. It's
Yeah,
like the apple
Zapple.
paste sort of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
I remember as a
Sounds like
kid,
a
my
lot of
brother,
sugar.
he brought back a bunch of MREs for basic, and I used to eat them just because. It also made, the MRE bomb? Like
Yeah, where you put Tabasco
Yeah.
sauce in a Gatorade bottle and then you put the FRH in it and it turns it into
Yep.
tear gas, I'm assuming. Yeah, we did that in Boy Scouts a
Yeah,
lot.
that too. And then just put
There's a
in,
different
just,
one? Oh.
yeah, there you take the magnesium heating element,
Okay,
put it
yeah.
in a bottle with some water, shake it
Taking
up
notes.
and toss it.
We were
goes-
putting
it
the
goes boom.
Tabasco sauce in it with holes so you create tear gas.
Oh,
That's
So it's
pretty
not
sick.
literally tear gas, but you're going to be coughing, yeah.
I made my own
Good idea.
pepper spray with a bunch of spices in a vial, and I blew it in my friend's face, and he was coughing for like a good 20 minutes. I was like, success.
The FRHs in a fire also look pretty cool. We were throwing them in a fire and you're like, oh my God, we created Mordor. Like,
Well, one does not simply walk to Mordor.
yeah, you apparently get drunk and throw it and just show up and it's right there, right?
Yeah,
is true.
exactly. That's how you get to Oblivion.
I like
Wait.
it.
Different games, different series.
I mean, it's still sort of the same.
One was
similar-ish
heavily
vibe.
inspired by the others. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's inspired.
It's
all
wild
right.
that Lord of the Rings was based off of a video game by Bethesda. That's took them a second.
The time
Yeah,
travel is
sometimes
real. Yeah, my brain
sometimes I'm
works.
so
It's okay.
my sass is so advanced. People just think I'm
That's
retarded.
good. I like
I
that.
had
yeah.
such a plan for Oblivion 4 until the Xbox fucking died on me. I had it all laid out, and then my Xbox died.
How tragic. All right, so before I let you go, I want to know what your relationship with a revolver is. Because I'm a wheelie boy and I very much like them. And more specifically, I'm a Smith & Wesson guy. I don't
Be
like
as
Colts,
brutally
but-
honest as you possibly can, Russ.
I like them for like pocket carry if I'm like, especially if I'm out with my van and I need a truck stop shitter gun and I'm wearing sweatpants and I don't want to put a heavy ass Glock 19 and I'm also not, I guess in theory I could buy a bodyguard too, but it's too much work. I want a classy air weight to shove in my pocket. Contact shots, baby.
God bless.
We'll get through it, right? And
Right
there's a
in the
little bit of cool
eyeballs.
factor. There's a little bit of cool factor to just having the excuse to own a revolver. Could probably accomplish the exact same thing with a bodyguard 2.0. Beyond that, they're really cool guns. I don't consider them more reliable. I don't consider them more
American.
practical. I don't consider
They
them
are
more
not.
shootable. I don't consider them more useful. Revolvers especially are so finicky once they get dirty. We had a bunch of rental revolvers and those things are fucking legitimate hazards because they wedge up with like 6 more rounds in the chamber or in the cylinder.
People can't see this. This 625, because of the moon clips, you have to be so fucking finicky. It's 45 ACP, but and with moon clips, you have to be even more cognizant of if you have clean chambers, if like the
but
stars
I
are
can
clean or
respect
anything.
I mean, that's why I own an AK. I don't own an AK because I think an AK is
Yeah.
particularly practical, but there is that, it sounds cringe, but that like almost
The second kind of cool.
samurai type thing where it's like you got your weapon that you need to practice with exclusively and you got to keep
Yeah.
it clean. And it's fun to get good with a thing, right? Guns are fun. I liked new guns to get good with, to practice with. Would I ever actually practically run one? The only one, that scenario where I think the trade-off is worth it, is that sort of pocket truck stop shitter gun, or when I'm bringing my dog out and I'm wearing sweatpants or whatever. There are
Yeah,
other
that's
guns
fair.
that could fill that niche, but the performance envelope, the upsides and the downsides are close enough that the cool factor of carrying an airframe actually ends up working out well enough to justify it.
I think
Okay.
so. I carry one a lot just because it like the environments like where I work, if it's customer facing or anything like that, they conceal very well because I
No, I mean,
wear
wheel.
Wheel-
Yeah, no, that's right.
wheel?
They're wheel guns.
wheel
yeah.
wheel. You like that? Very wheel.
That was intentional, I'm sure.
Yes, it was. I'm the most brilliant man that has ever existed. I like how they conceal. I don't remember what it is now. It's a 351 PD, so it's 12 ounces loaded. So it doesn't literally it has spoiled me. It's terrible because it's like you almost forget you have it on, and then you're like, there is N Pistola. And it's nice, but then it's like it has I think it's a 16-pound trigger. So and what's really gay about it, it's 22 Magnum, which is gay. And then it's also 9 rounds. It chews through fucking snap caps. So when I dry fire, because you have to dry fire that, like you must dry fire something like that. The sights do some moving unless you are diligent at pressing triggers all the time. You're going through snap caps because it's a 22 and the hammer spring's probably like fucking 50 pounds. So it dents the hell out of them. You have to use the stainless steel ones. It's a motherfucker. And then on top of that, what I will say, if I shoot a lot of revolver, or if I dry fire with a lot of revolver, or like one of my favorite guns is a 92D. It's a double. I love, Kevin knows this. I love double action only. I am a hoe for double action only semi-automatics.
Fake news.
That is not fake news. What?
Fake news.
I competed with this gun for a long time. It's
Fake
the
news.
92D. I have videos of it. Fuck you. All right, it's fine. So
Videos can be fake.
I like AI. I like double action only because I feel like if I can shoot proficiently with a double action only, going back to a striker fired or single action, it's a lot easier. And it is a lot easier. It's kind of like shooting small guns a lot. If you get proficient shooting like a Glock 48 or like a small gun, going back to a full size, it's like, whoa.
You brought up an interesting point. Brass, do you have a dry fire routine that you do, or you just one?
Yeah, I dry fire a lot into my mouth. No, the
yummy mouthfeel.
I'll dry fire when
Luke.
I have an issue that I really need to correct, like a bad habit I need to correct. I don't dry fire much as I used to. Maybe drawing, maybe like eyes lead transition, but I have this really cool thing where I need to actually shoot ammo for my job, and every time I don't do that, I'm being counterproductive. So I dry fire with real bullets most of the time.
Oh, that's
it gets loud in the house, I imagine.
You hear that, Brace? Real bullets.
Yes, I don't get paid to. Well, that's not true, but I don't get paid to do that here. At my job, I do, but not here. It's not the same thing. I can't do that.
I mean, at my job, I see the dumbasses that shoot themselves. So there we go. We're all same.
No,
it's a 2-for-1.
I'll rep dry fire. Like, I think there's actually some benefit to not having a gun go off, so you can more accurately tell what the fuck is going on. Because as soon as you introduce bullets, you get lost in the sauce of shooting a gun.
Yeah.
I do this for a job, so like this is a very unique, dumb scenario that you shouldn't do. But like, there's a lot of things that don't need a real kaboom to practice, right? Like, I think eyes lead shooting, like working on moving with the gun. That's something I mostly have worked out, but. If you're really like chasing reloads, like do that. Working with the belt fed, I did a bunch of just dry fire stuff with that. Like eyes focused, stuff, trigger presses coming off the trigger reset if you build a bad habit. A lot of these things are very hard to actually properly train with a real gun because, if you're perfect, I'm sure it'll work out. But as soon as the gun goes bang, you get lost in the sauce a lot of times.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
All
right. Well, thank you for coming on. I realize I said last thing like 50 times. So that's cool that you didn't go, hey, you already said that.
This is the last thing.
You're asking another thing after I was doing the outro? What's wrong with you?
Your
what is
camera
wrong
has
with
gotten
you?
closer every single.
Oh,
the
he
viewer
has
doesn't
an
know
AI
this,
thing.
but yeah.
So in the Hop episode, he's like, why the fuck do you keep putting your hand up? And it was him trying to do that. It's him trying to zoom.
Autofocus.
It's like the fucking Force. Like, Luke over here is trying to get, it hates you, just so you know that. Were you going to ask a question? As I said, we aren't asking any more questions. You were. You absolutely were.
Where are you going and how are you going to get there?
Prodigious use of alcohol and loud noises at the end of a barrel.
Good.
That's
loud noises.
Ooh, wait, what's your preferred alcohol of choice?
I'm a bourbon guy.
A classy.
Good man.
Yes.
And then it
I'm a
turns to
Knob
vodka
Creek
as the
man.
night goes long.
I like vodka. Actually, that's not true. I
You
like
don't feel as
gin.
bad just plowing through a lot
That's
of
true.
vodka as you do.
I like
a
gin.
nice bourbon.
I'm a gin boy because I love bourbon. I really do. Like, I like. Well, actually, that's not true. I like Knob Creek and Bullet bourbon. I'm very basic. I'm so boring. Also, I have to pay for that, so like it's cheaper. I'm a basic boy. But is that it, Kevin? Can I let him go? Because we've afflicted him with this long enough.
Is that a Spanish ship of the line behind you, or?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
My dad grew up in Spain.
Okay, I used to do a lot of military history, and I can go on whole diatribes about how the British design with the whole castle thing at the rear only, that came about of the development of removing the army from the ship, and they used to have a forward and rear castle, and the army actually used to. Different talk.
Oh man,
I was pretty sick talk. Why didn't you say that earlier? We could have talked about that.
All right, next time
Kevin likes that shit.
I love military history. And
I have a poli-sci degree, and my focus was military history.
You have a poli-sci? We should have talked about that.
God damn it, Press. You buried the...
What has happened here? You buried the lead. I said it before you.
I live near St. Augustine, that cool old ass
I love St. Augustine. I love St. Augustine. So fun. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it's been a real pleasure. We really appreciate you coming on.
Now we know what we're going to talk about next time.
Yeah, next time military history and beer and whiskey, I guess. Mostly whiskey.
Military history and the
we can do that.
The dichotomy of how the weapons and the tactics change throughout.
I think the real goal is to get all three of them on, Hop, Luke, and if we can. I don't know how we'd orchestrate that, but get all of them on to have the real autism role. That'd be fun.
That was my whole last degree. I did 3 or 4 classes on like the development of military weapons all the way up to the modern era, and that led into
That we should have. All right, yeah. Next time we'll talk about that.
See me,
how about that?
I did a very silent girl scream and move my hands.
Oh, it wasn't silent. He just muted.
It was not silent. That is what happened.
Actually hit the auditory cap of your mic.
Yeah, it clipped. That's what happened here. It clipped out.
Oh, damn it. We should have talked about that stuff.
We'd still, I mean, if he'll have us back, or wait, if he comes back,
will he have us back?
Yeah, that's the real question.
You'll need to get the gang together for that one. I think that'd be a fun.
That's what it is. Yeah,
one
that's
the gang.
Right. Yeah. I'm all on board. Now we've had all of you on individually. I kind of feel like without like all of them individually, it would have been. You need the established, like the Avengers, like the movie. You need to have like the individual movies before you have the Avengers.
And I'm definitely going to be doing this the whole time just to piss Hop off, just to do my
I know.
hand.
He's going to be like, why the fuck do you keep doing that? I completely forgot when we did that. But all right, well, thank you so much for coming on. It was seriously, it was a massive pleasure.
It was.
Thank you for giving us the time to do this. So we'd love to have you back on. And to the listeners, we appreciate you more specifically for letting us do this nonsense and giving us a reason to turn on the mic as boring 30-year-olds and talk into the ether that is the internet. And the best way for you to support this podcast is write death threats, because Kevin's going to say it. I don't know why.
No,
he
I was going to
insists
say,
on
right,
that.
love you.
You're
love
such
you
a fucking
letters.
liar.
No, I'm
you
not.
are a liar.
I don't want death threats for Brass. I want love you letters.
Specifically from Bass Facts. You're just like, you know what, we want love letters from him. But yeah, so we really appreciate it. I mean, honestly, we really do. We couldn't go to SHOT Show. We can do any things that we do without the listeners, without you. You specifically, the listener. Or viewer, depending on what medium you're listening to this.
And let's
on.
not forget, Brass, where can people find you in case they haven't figured it out yet?
The internet.
Cool.
Just look
good.
up Brass Facts.
I love it. Awesome. Well,
Okay.
thanks for tuning in, guys. And you guys can catch us on the next episode of Absolute Nonsense, because this will be coming out on a Monday. So, you know what? To you listeners, I hope you had a good Monday, or are going to have a good Monday. So I'm going to find the outro, and then I'm going to roll it. Why do you do this? Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Very cool. You should like and subscribe.
On Facebook and Instagram.
And Twitter and Spotify. You should listen there too. If you
aren't they
heard
listening
this on Spotify.
to this on Spotify right now?
Well, they could be, but there's also YouTube podcasts. So, all of the places.
We always forget where we post this stuff.
We don't know where this is. Thank you for listening wherever you're listening to, but you should also like the other places that we are. And
Who are we and what the hell are we doing here?
Yeah, I don't know how we got here. So thank you for letting us talk directly into your ear holes.
Right to the brain.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Adios.